Hey again. So I thought I'd give you a heads up on what I'm up to today on the structural architecture mechanical side of things. So in a previous episode I talked about the new Lexan kind of shield or kind of next floor to ROVer's chassis, and I successfully test fitted that, so you remember, and I got the holes drilled. Now what surprised me, shouldn't have, but it did. I was looking for one of these screws. What surprised me, but it shouldn't have, was that even though I drilled the holes the correct size, you always want them to be a little bit smaller than the screw that you're intending to use. I couldn't actually kind of pressure screw them in. What I should have remembered was my experience with the ABS plastic. So I used ABS plastic for the main floor of ROVer's chassis, and in that case ABS is, I think, a little bit softer than Lexan. So in some cases I could get away with it, but it's still not ideal. So what I ended up buying, let me show you. I got this tap and die set from a store here in Canada called Canadian Tire. It's an inexpensive tool store, but it gave me kind of more than I would ever probably use in building ROVer. I actually bought that set back 2 years ago when I originally started the project. And anyway, what you really need is this piece here. And the process of using it is actually quite simple once you know the technique. And you don't want to, it's not like a drill. You don't use it like a drill where you just kind of keep going in the same direction. The process is basically to kind of back and forth it. And the reason is you're essentially cutting the material. And as you succeed at cutting it, it actually gets caught up in the threads of the tap. So as you can see here, I'm just making my way through. It's not a fast process, so you do need to kind of go back and forth. And depending on the material that you use, so I don't know if you can see that there, but it gets all gunked up in there. So you might have to back out completely and then go in again. And it does pay to take your time. You get nicer threads, and the nicer the thread, the nicer hold the screw will have. So I'm all the way through, so I'm going to back this out. And now I'm not going to be able to show you guys, but I can see the threads inside the hole now. So now I can essentially just finger the screw in, and it has a nice hold on it. So yeah, so that's that. The reason why I'm tackling that particular aspect right now is, let me show you. So you would have seen in the test fitting video from yesterday or the day before. So I've got these standoffs in place, but I actually didn't test fit the Lexan sheet with all of the standoffs, simply because it's quite tedious to actually measure the precise location of where the holes need to be in the Lexan. I did that for the first 8 holes, so the 2 at each corner. But then it leaves these kind of center ones, and I'm actually glad that I held off, because I repositioned these after test fitting to accommodate the batteries. So what I want to do now is get these screws in so that I can get the board fixed and kind of locked in place, and then I'll locate the location for the remaining 4 holes and then drill those out. And I want to do that because of the corners. I've got a better view from this angle. So basically the corners here. So I never actually tackled the corners of the ABS kind of floor for ROVer originally 2 years ago. I always left it because I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to finish it. now that I've got the Lexan floor as well above, I kind of want to get these edged in a similar fashion, so I'm going to tackle that today. Yeah, so that's kind of the next step. Yeah, so a little simple thing, but you know, the aesthetics matter. And sometimes I just need a break from the programming and work with my hands, and sometimes it's the other way around. So today it's going to be a little bit of the tinkering with my fingers. Maybe I'll tackle some of the coding as well. We'll see. What I'll probably do as well today is actually tackle the mounting. This is not the actual one. These channels are still attached to ROVer, but actually mounting these on. I've already got the wiring for the sensor channeled through. And then, of course, the critical thing of actually getting these motors mounted to the channels. Like I said in yesterday's episode, I think, we'll go with a differential drive for the time being. But getting these on, and of course, these guys, getting them mounted. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be great to see them actually sitting on the floor or standing on the floor with the motors and everything. Really kind of seeing them, you know, come to life. It's going to be awesome. So stay tuned. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.